One. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Adam, did you say you are the biggest one? You are the biggest one.
Biggest one what?
I think by 5,000 domains. Are you?
Oh, I never said that. I don't have any idea. I just listen. I hope there's lots of other domainers that are bigger than me. I have enough to worry about. So, being the biggest would not be something I would strive for.
Good evening, Sam.
Good evening.
It was amazingly easy to find you.
Yeah.
You are ridiculously difficult to be found of as well. You don't leave any trace. But then I remembered Cobra.
Yeah.
Oh, such a beautiful domain name.
Yeah.
How are you? How are you, Sam?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Okay.
Yeah, just dealing with domain inquiries. I'm just getting a lot of people inquiring on domains that are worth a lot of money, but they're offering next to nothing for them. It's just the normal.
Next to nothing.
Well, next to nothing for them.
Example?
That's what I keep getting a lot of offers on the free letters, the good letters. I had an offer for ESN, which is a very nice letters. And as you probably, if you recognise the letters, it can stand for Esports Network, which is huge at the moment. So yeah, a lot of them are going and having a looking on GoDaddy to see the price, and then offering me a tiny fraction of that. That's what I get on a daily basis though.
So, and what are the offers for ESN? I understand that's for .co.uk, is it?
Yeah, so normally they start off a couple of thousand, and then if I quote them, or if I reply that you're nowhere near the price that I'm looking for, they just disappear. I get phone calls as well, answer phone messages, all sorts,
Adam, how many three-letter .cas have you got?
Honestly, I don't know. I can tell you a quick story. At one time, I bought all of them, and there were about I don't know how many thousands, but I invested in about all 6,000 or something that were left. Held them for about 5 years, and then eventually let a lot of them go. That was a while ago, though.
So you actually dropped most of them, yes? Or many of them?
Most of the ones that I thought weren't great letters and things like that. I ended up meeting with somebody from CIRA, who is the governing body for .ca. I had dinner downtown, and they told me when I did that, their boards lit up like a Christmas tree. So that was kind of funny because I just grabbed everyone. So I don't know how many I have at the moment, but enough.
And what if you had ESN.ca? What would you price it?
I would. I mean, it depends. Everybody's different, so I don't know if Sam said his offers came in at. Depends what the offer came in at. Probably on a CA, something like that. I would price it about 20 to 25 in that area, Canadian.
20,
but no, I'm not talking about Sam's domain. I'm talking about if it was a CA.
Sam, how is it at your side?
Say that again.
Did you hear what Adam would price it if it was
What,
.ca?
25K, yeah?
Yes, Canadian.
Okay, yeah. So I've got it up for 45,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up at that price because I get a lot of time wasters. So I want to obviously I'll negotiate in between that price. Like I say, I reject most of the offers, especially on the good free letter domains. I'm rejecting them now.
So are you rejecting the ones that come in at a couple of grand, or are you negotiating with them?
So the ones that come in at a couple of grand, I will reply to them and I will say, you can see the price on GoDaddy at 44,000 pounds, and I say to them, the minimum offer is set, so they can't even come in at, because it's $10,000 they have to come in at.
Yeah.
So they can't even negotiate. So they obviously contact me. So I said, you need to really move on the price. And generally, a lot of the time, they'll just disappear because they've only got a budget of a couple of grand. And this is an American guy that actually called up today.
Oh.
So, yeah, just got me thinking,
Did you say they're on GoDaddy, or where did you say they were?
So it's on GoDaddy after, Nick. So if you search in the GoDaddy,
Premiums.
Yeah. So basically, I've stuck a few names across to after, Nick, just to test out to see if GoDaddy brokers can negotiate any good deals. I'm testing that out. Whether it works or not, I don't know.
What is your, Adam, experience with GoDaddy brokers?
They've sold a couple for me through domain Uniregistry. Sorry, I was going to say domain name sales, but Uniregistry. I've had some good experience and some so-so experience. It really depends on. I hate to say it, but a lot of it depends on my mood and what I want to sell for at that time. Whether I think it's reasonable one day or whether I think it's. Sometimes I'll lower a name and then somebody won't take it, and then I'll just raise it and wait for them to come back. But my experience overall on GoDaddy has been good, except I know if you sell through the premium auctions, you have to wait a bit of time to get paid. But other than that, it's been reasonable. I've sold a lot more domains on Sado or through Uniregistry than through GoDaddy directly.
Sam, what is your experience with Uniregistry?
I don't use them anymore. I used to use them back when back the start when Frank Schilling started it all up. I was using them a lot, and then I just wasn't getting leads on there. But then again, I didn't have the DNS directed to Uniregistry. I always had my own landers or mainly over at dan.com now.
An interesting story about Uniregistry. I had to call in for support for something because my leads weren't coming to me. They were going to them to broker. And the woman on the phone said, "Can you go to this place and log in and read me what your ID is, your register ID?" And I said 8. And she goes, "Yes, what else?" I said, no, it's 8. That's when I signed up at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's I have them forwarding to the Uniregistry landing pages at the moment. I'm finding a lot of offers come in, but I'm not finding a lot turn into greatness. So I'm thinking actually of switching them all over to somewhere else. The only reason I don't like them at places like Dan or Sado or certain places is then everybody goes and checks, oh, what does Adam, Dick, or Owen? And then next thing you know, you see your portfolio plastered everywhere. So that's the one thing I'm not crazy about is there's a link to go view everybody's domain names. And there's people out there that are, believe it or not, Sam, with you, with me, with everybody, they're watching to see what you drop and they're waiting for it and they're grabbing them the minute you do. So it's reverse DNS queries to see if you've actually dropped a name or if it's expiring. So I don't like to put it all out there so easily. Sometimes I keep my premiums at one place and the stuff that I'm willing to get rid of for a lower price somewhere else, just so they can look at that portfolio and think that's all he owns.
Yeah.
How do you guys manage your portfolios? Yesterday I had a story. I was going through my hosting for HostMaria, and just I noticed that one of the domain of mine, actually two of domains, so .co.uk and .uk, and the system says it is not using our name service, and I was surprised. Why isn't it? Haven't I prolonged it? Have I lost it? And then I checked the domain name, and shit. There is some other company on it, and I really love the name, That's the guy's name. That's the guy's name. And I thought, beep beep beep. Pardon my French. Did I lose it? Did I drop it or what? And I thought I will now make a complaint to the registrar. I was using them. How is that possible? As with that registrar, I did manage to lose 2 domains when migrating them. And just in case, I went into my emails and I saw, there was actually a sale.
You sold it and forgot about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, stuff happens, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, and it just brought me a thought. How do you guys manage your domains? Should, you should, you have been all in those shoes, haven't you?
So Sam, you want to take this one first, or you want me to?
You go first.
So I'll tell you that there's a few things you can do to mitigate those. Obviously, consolidating at one registrar or close to it where you can helps. The other thing is you have to keep an eye on your email with an eagle eye. You have to keep an eye on your spam folder to make sure stuff doesn't go there. But still, once in a while, I'll go to check a domain name and I'll see it's not resolving. And then I'll look and it was 2 days expired. I better get in there. Or usually I try to renew domains months at a time ahead of time so I don't have to get in that issue. But sometimes you do find these issues. And it's not just you. I've found names that I've thought about and I thought, why isn't it working? I realize I've sold it or something else has happened. But it happens to everybody that has a large portfolio. There's nobody that it doesn't have to. You can stay as organized as you can. Somehow something's gonna be somewhere that you bought or you have to transfer into the same one. Or I mean, there's still names that I have at one register now. I just remembered there's about 42 letters and I haven't moved them in yet because it's the same price to move them as it is to renew them. So there's all kinds of different, and I can't even remember the name of the registrar now, so I'll have to look it up in my notes. So you really have to try to stay as organized as you can, but there's always going to be these issues as if, as long as you have more than 100 or 200, then you're going to have to really keep good track of everything. But issues like you had are going to happen.
But then again, I checked the price, and then I thought, okay, it was sold. What was the price? That's okay.
You really forgot.
Absolutely. Yes. Sam?
Yeah, obviously, when you're managing a large portfolio, you tend to get a lot of emails with domains expiring and suspending, and obviously I get ones with cancellations, which ones that I don't want to renew, and some days I'm getting hundreds of expiring, if not, thousands, because when I've gone on a spree of registering loads of names.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then you look at it and you're like, why did I register some of these? Yeah, I mean, but then the ones that you sometimes drop, you forget to take out of the Afternick or GoDaddy or somewhere, and you get a sale. And then you're like, oh, sorry, Afternick, I haven't got the name anymore.
Yeah,
and they're the gutting ones,
You have to be careful. It's not the new guy who picked it up who's trying to get you to buy it from him again so you can sell it to this potential sale. They play those kind of tricks too. And then you also have to watch out for transfer emails that come in that are fake or things like that. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. You have to really pay attention to.
Yeah, it's constantly, the amount of emails that I get on a daily basis is crazy. And then obviously, like Adam said, looking at your spam, that's another one where they can hide.
Well, one of the worst things I did was, I'll filter all my domain registrar ones into a separate folder. So I'll take all the ones that come from whatever GoDaddy, whatever registrar, and I'll put them in a folder, and I'll just look through that folder. Then you forget to look through the folder. So there's all kinds of stuff that, and then you can get that domain punch tool to manage your domains for whatever it is, $79 or $99. That I find to be the best because, and I don't make any money with them, but at least I can see which ones have the wrong DNS servers set. I can see which ones are expiring. And like Sam said, sometimes I look at a month of renewals and I go, damn, there's a lot renewing in March. What happened? February was nothing, but March, you've got 10 times the stuff you normally do in the other months. But yeah, I find all kinds of DNS issues where I need to change them, or I parked some and some didn't park. And then you have registers that if you let it expire by a day or something, they change the DNS back to their DNS. And even when you renew it, if you don't go back in and change it back to your DNS, it's not going to work or park. So there's a lot of stuff that you really have to be concerned about, whether you have a larger or a smaller mid-range portfolio. These things come up.
Adam, did you mention fake transfer emails? I actually haven't seen them.
They come in. I mean, heck, I've had people send me back in the day fake wire transfers where they copy and pretend they sent something or other thing. Or now it's Interac e-transfers, which is bank to bank in Canada. Instead of sending you the newest scam is instead of sending you a payment, they send you a request for payment, and people just think it's a payment because it's the exact amount. They click OK, and they're actually sending out that money instead of accepting it. So you got to be very careful when you're reading. That's a new thing for in Canada with e-transfers that they added. Before you could just send, now you can send or receive. So that's a problem for some people.
Sam, what is your experience with scammers?
I haven't really, obviously, with my UK domains, most of them are on my nominate account, so there's not much chance. Even if they did get away with taking a domain, nominate would get it back for me straight away. So there's not really much of that happens in the UK space. It's different with .coms and stuff. I get emails where it says you need to renew this name, and it's like $199 or whatever, and all that rubbish. You know, the
Yes.
obvious scam, and it says click on this link and enter your credit card details. Now, most people should not fall for that, but you know, I suppose some people do.
Yeah. And I think one of the harder ones is if you register, let's say 20 or 40 names, then you get 20 or 40 offers for SEO and web design and everything. You get tons of spam for whatever. I've got a couple lately that said, "Oh, I love what you've done with this site, and I'm wondering if I can help you this and that." I haven't even put it up yet. So, but people do that. They respond to whoever's registering domains today, and they'll send them an email to try to jump on them for everything.
Gentlemen, can I ask you a question? A question. So it is an afternoon in Canada, Toronto, Canada. Adam Dicker, 3 o'clock. Yes, quarter past. How many domain names have you bought today?
So this is a weird one because normally the answer would probably be 0, but I did go in and register, I would say about 15 today.
15.
Yeah.
What did you find?
Today was just keeping on top of trends. I'd have to look through my emails to see what they were, but there were a bunch of things going on that I found, like current news and stuff like, not news, but new products, new trends that I'm trying to stay ahead of. Oh, I just registered. I know one I just registered. The last one I just registered is domain name sales funnel, because I've decided that I'm setting up a sales funnel for everybody who needs to know how to respond to people when they get that inquiry about a domain name, because I'm tired of being asked for it. So I'm going to set one up. And that's why I registered domainnamesalesfunnel.com. If you check, it's about a half hour ago I registered it.
Adam? No, sorry, Sam. What about you?
Sam
needs to check his sheet. It is late evening in the UK.
Yeah, I only registered 3 domain names today, and but over the last, I don't know, over the last couple of weeks, I've probably registered, well, over the last week or so, I've registered about 150. But you know, I'm being more picky now because of obviously renewals. So I will only register a name if I've got a stronger feeling that it will sell, rather than just on a 50-50 chance. I'm on a 80-100% chance, or something that I'm going to do something with. You know what I mean?
So what are the 3 names you bought today? Can you share them?
Let's have a look. So I got luxurywales.co.uk, office-direct.co.uk, 3dprintstudio.co.uk, and these are hand registered regs, by the way. So they're not anything that I feel that are going to sell for a lot of money, but I always price these sort of names up at 3,495 on Afternet.
Okay.
Yeah.
While you were off, I was checking what I registered today. It was fastchargers.ca and smarthomes.ca. Smart homes, because I know everything's going smart home.
Yeah.
In the midnight, I registered 2 domains, uj.rs and jl.rs. LL's Serbian names. Handrage.
Nice.
Can I ask you a question? What are your thoughts on basically, yes, we have a Canadian domain investor and British domain investor. What about NN GTLDs? I always confuse CTLDs and GTLDs. Adam is checking something.
No, I'm here. I was just thinking.
Go on.
No,
If there is a
NNs.
problem-
I've never been a big fan of. That's just me personally.
Yes. So what about Canadian NNs? Have you got any?
I have about 8 or 10, but not something I picked up. I picked them up by accident when I purchased a portfolio.
And what is your experience with them?
Nil. Very little inquiries. Almost nothing. And I think they're 3 NNNs. Like they're not area codes or anything, so they don't make any sense. But I don't know what people are going to use them for.
Sam?
Yeah, I don't like them. I've never really invested in number. Some people go for the like 1689.co.uk. I used to buy ones that meant people's year that they were born, but I hardly ever sold any of them. So I stay well away from number combinations, especially in the CCTLD. They don't get inquiries.
And if anybody wants the Serbian ones, RS, there are at least 10 NNs available for Handrage.
There's probably a good reason why.
Yeah.
NN, yes, obviously, of course. Have you sold anything today, yesterday?
Me, I'll say no.
Yeah, I sold slim-woman.com.
Wow. Slim-woman. Women or woman?
Woman, WOMAN.
Okay,
So it's just one.
Just slim woman. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Me at slimwomen.com.
yeah. I bought it for there was an offer with MrDomain.com just before was it November? Yeah, November last year. And they were giving out they weren't giving out. They did an offer where you could register 20 .coms for $1 each. So I registered it for $1 and I managed to negotiate and get I wanted to get higher, but I got them to $900. So, it's better than nothing.
Oh, that's good.
So it was priced up at I think it was priced up about $3,000 or whatever, and they kept negotiating. They kept coming backwards and forwards. You know what it's like. And then I thought to myself, look, I only paid $1 for this, and because it's such a quick turnaround, so yes. I just took it, and I didn't think they'd pay because I'm having problems on Dan.com recently, and I might be tempted to move my names because every time I negotiate on any domain, they never seem to pay, and this has been happening for about 2 months now. It's really frustrating, whether it's people mucking around or just I don't know, something going wrong. I don't know. And they're taking a lot longer as well these days. They've got more staff, but they're taking ages to deal with the transfer and everything. So I'm tempted to maybe move my names, but it's just going to take me ages to do it. So that's why I'm not doing it.
Yeah. That's the worst, but it's worse when you have to transfer from registrar and decide to switch registrars. Then it's even worse. Yeah. No, that's unfortunately you had that problem, but I hope you didn't use that as your sales techniques. Well, I guess I'll give it to you for that. I only paid $1.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, I was sticking at my guns at the top end price, but they were just negotiating, and then I just thought to myself, I'll let them have it at that price because I thought, it was just a quick turnover, and then I'll use that to buy some more co-UKs or more comms,
How long does it usually take a transaction through Dan.com?
So it's quite quickly. Depending if they're registered with the registrar, like Dynadot or whatever, you do an internal push, and then you get paid out the next day. They'd authorize it the next day, so the payment would go into you, and then you'd probably clear it the next day. So it's very quick. If you're doing the auth code, then obviously you've got to go through the procedure of waiting for it to transfer. But it all depends on either if you're doing push or the transfer. But it's normally quite, especially on Co-UK, if I sell it and I transfer it, I get paid the next day. Now that's what really enticed me, because you get your money quick. You know.
I can tell you something I learned about unit registry was they only pay on Mondays. So if you're gonna, if you're going to get a sale and you want the money quick, you're going to have to sell it close it on Friday to get paid Monday. And I missed a payment schedule for a big one, and I got it like 2 weeks later. But usually they're very good.
Yeah.
So Adam is saying, Sam, get back to unit registry.
No, I'm not. I don't. You work for unit registry. I'm not thrilled 100% either with it at the moment. But
why?
Well, I just think that I don't know if everyone's getting the level of service that they should be getting, where people are treated. I'm not saying I'm being treated poorly. I just don't think that having a different salesperson on every deal, on every name that comes in, on every offer makes a good relationship or is easy to manage, because you're answering different people all the time. So it's tough, but that happens in most places. So it's not something I'm complaining about unit registry. I just know that I don't know. I just it's hard to tell. I mean, there's lots of offers that come in. It's hard to tell which ones get converted over, which ones are negotiated properly.
So unit registry is owned by GoDaddy.
Yeah.
So what about the domain brokers that work there? Are they in-house, the old unit registry team, or have they collided? Collided? Is that the right word?
No.
No, not collided. No.
My opinion is that they've gotten together and combined forces. And I think some people are still there and some people are not still there. But, I mean, any merger, something like that happens. So that's quite normal. No, I think they're good. I just think that you don't get the attention, I guess, that you used to get when it was Frank Schilling, and Frank Schilling was on top of everybody. And I'm not sure even how much they're incentivized to sell, whether they're incentivized to sell your domain for more or not, or whether they get commission no matter what. And because some places, and not unit registry, but they will not make any more money depending on what it sells for. They get a straight sale price. And for me, I want the sales rep to be incentivized to get more money so that they will push for more money for the seller, if that's the case.
Sam, what about you? Why did you stop advertising your domains at unit registry, if you can?
Yeah, because I think ever since Frank Schilling sold to GoDaddy, it's gone a bit downhill. It basically there was a stage where, like Adam says, you were dealt with by one broker. Now there's like tons of brokers. I think there was a team brought in from Manchester just to deal with the UK stuff, and I'm not too sure if they've all gone back to the Caymans, but there was a Manchester office. So when you had a UK inquiry, it got dealt by the UK guys.
That's cool.
Some of the brokers were good. Some of the brokers were useless. They weren't very helpful, or they weren't very helpful in actually getting you a good price. They'd say, "Oh, accept it or not." You know what I mean? Or I just didn't like it. So
I agree with that. And one of the problems right now is that I would say with pretty much every company that sells domain names, there's not that personal service that there should be. Like anybody wants to be, when you go in a restaurant and they say, "Hi, Adam, how you doing?" The usual or this and that. You don't need that level of service with domains, but you need somebody who you feel is looking out for your best interest as a customer. And I don't know anybody that has that right now, where, I don't know. I just don't know anybody that has it right now, whether it be GoDaddy, Unit Registry, Sato. When you're being bounced from different reps, It's kind of like when the sales guy calls you to pitch you a product and you say, okay. And then as soon as he closes a sale, you're turned over to somebody else and he goes off and looks at the next person. Now, I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm saying nobody likes that feeling as being just pushed off to all right, you can go to the second tier guy now. We already have your business. But it's more about feeling like somebody's, I think the best way a broker can work is if they're selling the domain name as if it's their domain name. And then you feel like you're getting the best value out of it. And I don't have that relationship right now, I'd say, with anybody.
That's interesting. So that probably says a lot about large companies like.
And small ones too.
Small as well.
Well, I mean, small ones too. You may not get the most experienced people in the small ones, or you may. It depends on these people need to know how to. Everyone needs to know how to manage relationships, because at the end of the day, it's about relationship building. So people trust you to sell their names if you're going to allow them to, and negotiate on their behalf. You have to know if you give me something to sell that I'm going to try to sell it as if Sam's name is my name, and I'm not going to stop just because Sam says if you sell it, you'll give you $1,000. I have to know that Sam has to know that I'm going to try to sell it for the highest I can because I'll feel good about that as well.
Okay, here is Karim's question. What about ll.ca domains? And let us make this question both ways, .ca and .co.uk names. Is there any investing? Is it good to invest in them?
So with the CA domain names, yeah, there's obviously good investments available in them. I think they're good names. I think that they're worth holding on to. But again, it's like everything else. You have to grab the premium type letters or take a look and see what companies begin with what names and make sure that you get the most available buyers for your possible LLL or LL or LLLL, whatever you want. I don't think I could say that again.
Sam? Sam, are you with us? Sam, hello. Are you with us? Yeah. Or are you thinking?
Yeah, obviously, free letter co-UKs are good to invest in. Can you hear me?
Yes. It looks like you are dropping. You are losing connection.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello.
So I think what Sam is saying is that yes, they have good value. Co.uk are probably very valuable because co.uk has been around for a while, and I'm sure they're worth investing in as well as the .uk's.
And what about the price? Occasionally.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
With the yeah.
I think he just caught up to what I was saying before. That's why he left.
Sam, maybe you just have to switch off your Wi-Fi and go on 4G. Should we try it? Moment of silence.
Oh.
Okay, we'll see. Sam probably will be back. I will lower him. So what about the prices? I don't know.
Again, it really depends on how many buyers or how much potential is. But I mean, you can pick them up cheap. There's no question about it. You can pick up LLLs cheap. Some are even available to register. But I would sell them probably in around the $5,000 to $7,000 range, depending on what it is or if it's a huge company. I mean, but that would be the average price that I would sell that.
Get on the roof.
I think his connection's better now.
And water yourself. Sam, so what about the LLLs, so triple Ls.co.uk ones? What would you say? What is a good price and are they good investment? Thank you.
Yeah, for the co-UKs, they're a good investment. At the moment, the .UKs are not a very good investment because I have a lot of them and I don't get any inquiries on the .UKs. The co-UKs, I always get inquiries. And no
Sam,
one
then you want to say it's a good investment so you can actually sell some too.
Yeah, that's it. If you want, yeah, like it depends on the letters as well. You know, I invested in loads of free letters that are all lower quality letters, meaning there's not many companies registered in them. They're not going to sell so quickly. But at the moment you can pick them up at good prices on Domain Law and places like Flip, because there's not much demand for them, But
You're really selling them.
yeah, I would just stick with Co.uk.
Call Sam. They're $1 a piece anytime.
Yeah, that's it.
So here's a guy who wants to present some domain names in different niches. So what do you guys say?
Coronavac.
Info. What about these ones?
Epiv Corona.
It's Epivac Coronavac. He's talking about
anything
vacuum.
with Corona. No, I wouldn't even. I would. You've just wasted your registration fee.
So, I mean, if you're doing it as an information site and you're going to bring people in, then it's got value. But if you're looking to just buy a name and sell and profit off the coronavirus, probably not a great idea. But if you're going to set up a really big site under a coronavirus name and help educate or help warn people or talk about where the infections are and have the latest news, then it's okay.
What would you say? What do you suggest as what is the main problem here? Mr. NA vaccine.us.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't even get what that means. Mr. N vaccine.us.
Mr. North America vaccine? I don't know.
Not a clue.
Could be Mr. North America.
Okay, what about the cryptos? And no.
I'm going to have to be honest and say that there's value in crypto domains, but I don't see much value in these ones. Yeah. However, I have cryptomarketer.com should anybody be interested.
Bang, here you go. So ethereummarketing.com, yes.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, let's go back. Ethereum.marketing.
Marketing, yes.
There's so many coins in Ethereum and so many networks and things that use it. That could be a good domain name, but you could have to build up a site listing all the coins that go through the Ethereum network, as well as maybe have some links to purchase it where you're an affiliate or something like that. That one makes the most sense out of the list.
Yes. This is even a bit strange to see it there among the others. My apologies. but yes. So, and other ones. Dubai burgers.
I don't know if, I guess they eat burgers in Dubai. Digital KPW. Car 2030. Hopefully I'll be around in 2030. Maldives Insurance. Okay. Again, it depends. There's so many different things to look at there to see what the traffic is. Probably these are names I would not consider buying.
Sam?
Nothing personal.
Yeah.
Would you register Maldives insurance for $1?
I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I tend to pick. I tend to pick niches that are that I know. So no, something like that I probably wouldn't expect to sell quickly. So no.
And Dubai is a tiny, tiny island, isn't it?
That's a rich island.
But it is tiny. A friend of mine actually went to Dubai. He started, not to Maldives, no, to Maldives. And he wanted to start a fly fishing business up there. And he said after spending a month there, so he hired 4 ships, he did lots of advertising and basically blew quite a lot of cash. And after a month, he went mental. There was nothing to do. The island is so tiny, people are so relaxed. So he managed to get some weed or something. And even though it was just totally prohibited, it is a very strict Muslim country.
Well, Maldives.insurance has 10 searches a month, if that helps.
What does it say about the domain name?
It says hopefully one of those 10 people will want to buy it. So put up a for sale page for $300 and hope you sell it.
That is the reality. Okay. Good evening. Wow. So what do you see? What do you see are the perspective niches you are buying domains in now? If you can share.
Sam?
Yeah, cannabis, weed.
Hmm.
At the moment, because of the pandemic, mental health, health. Mainly, hypnotherapy, all sorts, because everything at the moment, people are stuck indoors, and these hypnotherapists and mental health people are doing Zoom sessions because you can't actually go to the normal places, and people are not even getting outside. So then there's just lots of new things starting, especially fitness online's a new one as well. So loads of fitness clubs and apps and all sorts, and are getting online. So they want domains. So yeah, also any kind of niche that where someone can do a Zoom call, they want the domain now as well.
Yeah, for me, it's also been, like Sam said, education online. Online learning is big. There's nobody in schools here in Ontario, probably in Canada right now.
The same
So
here.
online learning is big. There's lots of people looking for online yoga, online meditation. There's lots of stuff like that. So anything that you could do at home, and any businesses that you could start up or run at home, people are interested in right now. So there's a lot of that. Trying to think what else there is, but a lot of education, a lot of courses, and a lot of personal training stuff at home too.
Sam, are you into education as well?
Yeah, so I'm in the process of developing. Can't even think of the name now. So I've got.
You've sold it. You've sold it.
You.
Oh yeah, no. I've got so many. I can't think of these names, and you have a mental block, don't you? So I've got quite a lot of online tutor domains. So I've got like online learning, online this, and I invested just before the pandemic hit. I just was investing in online stuff, and I own tutors.co.uk, and I'm developing that at the moment, so I can send the leads to online tutors. And there's loads of companies that deal with tutors, and because kids can't properly get education at the moment, and it's the parents trying to do it with them jumping up and down, is there's a lot of private tutors and private things. So and it's big.
So you have tutors.co.uk.
Yeah, I own that. Yeah, I'm in the middle of doing something with it.
But you don't know what? No.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I all I need is to get a affiliate sorted, and then then I've got to do all the other stuff that goes with that. The advertising, the Facebook, the Twitter, you name it.
Adam, can I ask you, what do you think? What is more valuable, tutors.co.uk or cobra.co.uk?
Well, I mean, first of all, I haven't done as much research as Sam has. There's lots of clubs right now for Cobra Kai. There's lots of companies named Cobra. Sam would know. Yes. Sam would know the value of that. Tutors are huge. I think that Sam is heading in the right direction. Tutoring is a business that, if he develops, could be a lifetime, could have monthly revenue that would increase over time and things like that. I say that, but I've had homework.ca for a long time, and probably a bunch of tutor names I haven't done anything with because I just haven't had the time. But what I've learned recently is that I cannot set up 3 businesses at one time, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to build one business, as I'm working on now. And to do that properly, there's so much that's involved in it. So like Sam was saying, everything from securing your brand for social media to just making sure you have a marketing plan, you have landing pages, you have ads, you've got people to support the people when they come in, you've got structures for tutoring, you've got to get involved like some of these other places and hire people to do the tutoring, or get an affiliate company. There's a lot that's involved besides just looking at a really premium name and thinking it's easy to build a business because it's such a hot name and it has traffic. And I'm learning that over the last, I guess, 3 months, as I've been trying to build out a name, and I try to build them out quicker than I would like into real businesses, then realizes I have to slow down and just do it properly. So focus is key, whether you've got 15,000, 30,000, or 100,000 or 5 domain names. You have to give whatever business it is the focus for it to succeed. Or you're like any landlord that has a bunch of businesses in a plaza. You can't be in all the places at once. It happens with restaurants. A guy opens a restaurant, very successful. He starts to open a couple others, and he's not in the same place as other restaurants. They don't do as well. And then if he starts spreading out his time, all 3 of them start to suffer. So really, for me, it's a great name, Tutors, no question about it. Huge value, but if you can build a recurring revenue behind it and build a business, it's worth putting your time into, and just leave your domains there sitting and do the negotiations, but build the business. That's what most smart domainers do. They're not in the domain industry anymore. They're in the business industry, and they build a business that brings them in revenue all the time. And the domain money you sell is just like an added bonus. Oh, great. I sold something for 5K or 3K or 10K or 20K. That's extra money.
And
That's how
plus,
you have to look at it. You got to be successful in a business.
and plus you are sitting, Sam, you are sitting on pile of traffic with your 10,000.co.uk domains, and with
I'm sitting on a lot of traffic, but I
you
think
don't have to buy traffic and nothing, just direct all the traffic there.
Like Adam mentions regarding building on a premium name or building on a solid domain name, I think I spoke to you before about that was my plan of the middle of last year, is developing out a domain and turning it into a profitable
one domain
business. Yeah, so
domain.
I've got a couple of names that I do affiliate stuff with, and now they're to the stage where they're bringing in regular money, and I'm just building on that name and trying to get it to a stage where it's just going to pay me regular money. And I don't think I'd ever sell the domain name now behind it, because it's just too profitable to me to even sell it. So, see, the problem is with a lot of domainers, they'll go, oh, I've got all these domains and I just need to sell them all. But what they don't realize, if you develop one of them, that could pay for your whole bloody portfolio, and they don't realize it,
Ring that bell, because that's 1,000% true.
Yeah.
It really is true. It's better to have 5 domains or 3 domains or 2 domains that you can build in a business than it is to have 5,000.
Yeah. It's nice selling domains, but it's like when you sell a really solid, some of the names that I sold in the past, and I think to myself, hold on, I could have built on that and turned it into a proper, business and made a lot of money. And then now thinking about it, some of these names that I've acquired, I don't think I'll sell them. Like I've got woman.co.uk, and I'm trying to turn that into a woman's clothing brand, and turn it into a blog for women to blog on, and all sorts. That's another thing that I want to get the wife into.
Maybe you could partner with slim-woman.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I just I can't remember why I even registered slim-woman. It must be a reason.
Because it was $1.
That's it. I went crazy on the dollars, but so I think slim-woman is because they couldn't get slim woman, because obviously there was a large bounty on that, and everyone in the lockdown, they need to lose weight,
That's true too, and that's another thing that we should have mentioned before, is everyone will need some sort of a diet or in-home loss treat. I think it's Luna or Luma. I mean, they're sending messages to everybody, get on the ideal diet. You don't have to stop eating. You can do whatever you want, but still. I mean, but going back to your point, I have too many premium domains to develop. I have anxiety.ca. I'd love to develop it out. I don't have the time. Yes. There's just too many that, you just can't do them all. So you have to do 1 or 2 right, like you've done. Build them in a business and grow them. And then if somebody wants to buy that domain from you, they're buying a business. They're not buying a domain name anymore.
Absolutely. Like Tutors, that's a mind-blowing name.
Yeah, you just look on Google for look at the companies that are advertising for tutors on there. They're spending a lot of money on Google AdSense, so that's the way you got to see it. And I do get a lot of traffic and emails, but it's not actually operational. That people are like, can I hire a tutor? And I'm like,
you could list tutors and charge them a fee to be listed.
Yeah. So I've got something like that at the moment, but it's I think there is a law about listing. They have to be vetted and stuff, tutors. So you can't just turn it into a classified script and charge people. It has to be They have to be vetted.
Too bad. I was going to sign up and teach like sex ed or gym or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so what do you use to build a website? WordPress?
Yeah, WordPress always. Yeah.
For me,
I use WordPress. Yeah.
For me, it's also a WordPress.
Okay, and whoever is watching and into photography, guys, do check out Pivigo with W. Pivigo French CMS system open. Absolutely mind-blowing. They're beautiful, lightning fast. You can build huge galleries and it loads really, really well. Fantastic French product.
One of the other names I've been dying to build out and haven't had the time, but see, I wish I could make time for all of these, is podcast.ca.
Podcast.
I have podcast.ca, I've got webinars.ca, I've got some other stuff. Just who's got the time? Like, when can you build all these things out? You can't. So I have to stick with the ones that I picked and build those out, the successful businesses, and hope I get time to do another one.
So do you get inquiries on podcast?
Sometimes. So yes.
Which ones are the most famous Canadian podcasters?
Oh, I wouldn't even have a clue. You are, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. Actually, I could put these shows on podcasts if you want.
They actually are.
No, but I mean on podcast.ca.
Oh, podcast. Wow, why not? Absolutely awesome. Yes.
Maybe I should redirect it to your to our channel. I'll do that after this. At least it'll have some use.
We could actually think of something.
The other one that I have that I've been dying to do something with, and I overspent on it, was girls.ca. I was thinking of doing a female clothing line or everything to do with women, but it's such a broad topic. Who's got the time to build out the whole thing? It's like it would take forever. That's the problem.
Sam, what about you? So you have services.co.uk?
I have service.co.uk.
Service, yes.
I've got woman. But like Adam says, I think what we were planning on woman is turning it, is selling clothes and printing woman on it. Because some of these Instagrammers, you look at some of the Instagrammers and they just sell a jumper and they put anything on it. It could be, anything. And they're selling it for $30, $40 just because they're Instagram famous, because they're not really famous. They're called Instagram famous. They're selling this line. So I'm thinking maybe if I did something with women, did some kind of clothing brand, and then get women to blog about fashion or something along those lines.
Can buy those spots where you pay to have celebrities and other people show off your mug or your shirt.
Yeah, that's it. All you need. Yeah.
There's a few sites like that where you can buy those celebrity sponsors where for money they'll promote anything.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can I ask you about security? So managing huge domains like these, times by times we all hear that a domain name has been stolen. What are your ABCs for your portfolio security? That's the one. Number one for Adam.
My security is pretty simple. It's my nominate panel's got the security behind it, and
so two-factor authentication. Yes.
Yes, it's got the two-factor, and then it's obviously got the thing where you got to type the number in, and then get in, and then on my portfolio of .coms and whatever, I've got two-factor on that as well.
So a couple points for me on this two-factor stuff. Yes, I love it. Yes, I use it. But a couple times I've had to reset my app or change phones, and then I lose it, and I have to get it
No.
reset and everything. It's a real pain, but it's still a lot safer. Again, same thing as with a broker. You need to have a good relationship with whoever's managing your account as a registrar. And when you get obviously into good numbers of domains, they pay a bit more attention to you on the registrar side. But they ask you, and they'll call me and say, "Did you ask for a transfer on girls.ca?" And I'll say yes, or I'll say no. And at one of the registrars, they won't unlock the domain names unless I send them an email or a ticket through my panel after I've logged in saying, "Please unlock this, it's been sold." So that's pretty good security as well.
That's
So
good.
even if I put in a request and they make it so that I cannot unlock it myself without getting in touch with them to let them know it's a legitimate sale. And it has never been a pain because their response time is under 15, 20 minutes.
This is something I have to admit I do not know anything of. What are these domain locks? I have to admit that's a black hole for me.
It just locks a domain so it can't be transferred from your account. You have to unlock it before it can be transferred. And so they need it unlocked, and they need the EPP code to take a domain from you.
And well, but I'm just going into my account, and if domain is locked, I'm locking it. And
Yeah, or you're selecting all like I do every once in a while because I register too many.
Yeah.
You can either set the default to lock them all as you get them, or you check once a month and you select all and lock them just to make sure that they're all stay locked and they're done.
But how is that secure? Locking a domain name. If somebody gets an access to your account, they would unlock it. Or
Well, yeah, but somebody who's
what
just
am I missing? Thank you.
well, you're missing the fact that I could go in if Sam had a domain that was unlocked, and I could just request I could see it was unlocked through the whois. I don't want to give people tips. I could see it through the whois that it was unlocked. I could put in a transfer request for that name. I could pay $9 for it, and if Sam doesn't approve it and doesn't notice it, I think within 5 or 7 days it'll automatically get transferred because it's unlocked.
Okay.
I'm sorry to give the people that advice, but
wow.
log it.
Could you repeat this one, please? Thank you.
You get a note from the registrar. So I'll request one of Sam's names.
Okay.
And then let's say it's domain name business.com. I request it. I put in a request to transfer it to my registrar. I pay the $10 or whatever it is. They send a request to Sam. And some of them will say you have to approve or reject it, but some of them will also say this is approved. And if you don't respond within 5 or 7 business days, it's going to process as requested because it was unlocked. If I do that same request on a locked domain, it says this, as soon as I go to pay, it says this domain is not available for transfer. That's a bit of a lock. Sam, anything you want to add there that I may have messed up?
Thank you, Adam. I've been always wondering about this part and just never actually digged in. We are way too busy. Sam, did you know this one?
No, I didn't know that, no.
Wow. I'm going to lock all my domains tonight.
Yeah, you should, because I'll start requesting them. Just kidding. Especially the 2-letter ISs that I like.
Mm.
But it also depends on the registrar. Some registrars make you say, I accept, while as others just say, okay, it's going. Within 5 business days, if you haven't denied it or whatever, it's going. I've had it happen to me with my own accounts when I transfer them to a different account to sell. And then I'll even call the registrar and I'll say, don't wait the 5 days, just approve it because I sold it. There you go. That's my domain locking tip of the day.
Wow. That was good. Has it happened to you before that somebody has done it?
I don't think so because I pay attention to them all and I check those emails and stuff. But you do get alerted when you, like I said, when I make a sale and I transfer domain and the guy requests it, you get an email where it says this is going to go through in 5 days, whether you approve it or not. I can probably find an email while we're talking to show you that where it says that. But that's why you lock your domains.
Sam, how is your experience with Nominate?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. Yeah, obviously keep all my domains in the Nominate account. Well, most of my co-UK domains. And, it's just simple, isn't it? set all the good ones to auto renew, and all the not good ones to not renew.
Okay. I have an email.
Okay.
So this is not something where I'm blaming this specific company. I'm going to share the email. I'm going to share the domain name. I
Thank you.
should keep it private, but I won't. So let's share and you'll see what I mean. Share screen, application window, share, and I'm going to close it down shorter. Okay, so I'm going to the mailbox and you can see confirmation of transfer from richmondhill.com, December 10th, 2020. We received notification on December 10th that you've requested transfer the domain to GoDaddy. If you want to proceed with this transfer, you do not need to respond to this message. If you wish to cancel this immediately, please click on the link below before Tuesday, the 15th. So there you go.
Yeah.
If we do not hear from you by the 15th, the transfer will proceed.
Wow.
So there you go. I wasn't making it up. And again, that's not picking on that company because that company that I use for .ca's NamesPro, NAMESPRO.ca, is one of the best CA registrars there is. And I can't say enough complimentary about them. So it's just the process.
Sam, what is the process of your thoughts now?
Most of my names are locked. Well, I don't have names that are unlocked, so it'll never really happen with me.
So for that one, I had to phone them and ask them to unlock it because that's the one that locks them all. I sent them a note saying, can you please unlock it? It's been sold. So that's how I got that other email. That one came from them saying, we've seen the request to unlock, and now if you don't deny it, it's going to go through in 5 days, which is, to me, I think they should all ask for approval. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. You're both dumbfounded. Like, oh, who knew that could happen?
Oh, that's good. That's good. It is better to admit that you don't know something
Oh, always.
and to learn a thing and
Always.
be stronger the next day. Absolutely. So, any tips for smaller domainers like me?
Sam, anything?
Any
Tips,
tips?
what
For,
tips?
Any tips for smaller domainers? For smaller domains, for domainers with smaller portfolios.
What tips? It's not in the UK space. There's not really any way that you can have. If you do get any trouble, it's just a case of doing a nominate, speaking to nominate, and they can request it straight back. You know, so I've never really had any issues with you know, getting things taken, or even if you did get a name taken, you can do a DRS and get it back through the DRS panel, which is free to request. You know, any person can raise a DRS with nominate, which is stupid, but that's the way they do it.
It does work.
Yeah.
So for me, I will say that the one thing people should take from this is that the goal is to build a business that gives you recurring revenue. And it's not the size of the portfolio that matters, it's the quality. So size doesn't matter. Again, it's the size of the quality of the portfolio, and build a business if you want recurring revenue. A domain, if you sell it, it's great, you'll have short-term cash, but it's gone. A business, if you build it and get recurring revenue weekly or monthly, you can live off of that. And then if you can build a second one, you're living even better.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Fantastic domain talk. Thank
No
you.
questions today from anybody?
Well, there are, but
Good
Okay.
woman. No, I haven't. Yeah, I don't intend to as well.
why not?
Because I'd rather build on it and make it into something and then sell it off as a business and then get more money out of it rather than just sell the domain.
So thanks for the interview. Can I? Mr. Van Galen, onlinevideos.com. Was it?
Yes. So
That's an update.
I have an update for you. He did get an offer right after the show for, I believe, about 2K. I'm working on 3 or 4 different people that are interested, and I have a feeling we're going to get much more than the 2K. So I will email him again after the show, but I think that it's positive on where it's going to go. It's still a great domain, and it's still very brandable.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's it. No more questions, and see you guys. Sam, would you like to join us next week as well?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
All right. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I will do some work, and maybe we'll get the 4th person in.
Okay.
Let's see how it all goes. And especially, I'm curious about any Asians. Hello from worldwide. We'll see. Great. Okay. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Oh,
Thank you.
and how to connect you? The best ways, Adam?
Adam.dicker@gmail.com or my cell 416-884-0535.
Sam?
Sam@cobra.co.uk.
Phone number?
He may not want to have all his
0203 411 0559.
Awesome.
You can have a phone number, but it'll go straight to a voicemail.
But that's good enough. You do listen to those voicemails, do you?
I don't.
No?
I want text. I hate voicemails.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks.